The Philippines, like its neighboring countries, prided itself on having its own form of martial arts. Ancient and recent fighting methods devised in the Philippines are collectively known as Filipino martial arts or FMA. The origin of Filipino martial arts has long been debated by many different scholars and practitioners. Until today, there is no absolute account of the history of FMA for two primary reasons. One is the lack of written records of the pre-Hispanic FMA, and the other is that much of the available historical documents on the subject are unreliable, due to our oral tradition and the archipelagic nature of the country. In the Philippine history, Kali is the term used to refer to the earliest form of FMA. It was allegedly the pre-Hispanic martial art. There were early writings that said Europeans were able to witness the natives' exceptional ability with hand-to-hand combat. Research also says that they used shields and spears even before that. These things may be some form of martial art, but Dr. Ned Napang argued that these does not really tell us what Kali was. Some scholars argue that eskrima and arnis are derivatives of the art of Kali. Others believe that the two are their own forms of art, completely unrelated to Kali. Dr. Napang uses the terms eskrima and arnis interchangeably. Felipe Hocano Jr., on the other hand, includes Kali in his definition that arnis, also known as Kali eskrima, is a complete martial arts system, encompassing weapons training and empty-hand self-defense. It includes training in single-stick techniques, double-stick techniques, stick and knife or dagger techniques, and knife techniques. Some styles may include staff and spear training in their curriculum. Others will include the practice of medium to long-bladed weapons in their repertoire. Many styles have some form of empty-hand combat, encompassing striking, kicking, locking, throwing and even choking methods. Such a complete martial art system have many suggestions as to where it originated. One was the belief that the Indo-Malayan people emigrated to the Philippines, bringing with them the martial art of silat, which was said to have given birth to the mother art known as Kali. Many scholars have debunked this myth by showing the inadequacy of its linguistic evidence and its lack of scientific basis. Filipino martial arts was even associated with Lapu-Lapu's defeat of Magellan. Pseudo-FMA historians claim that Lapu-Lapu was using eskrima, when in fact, Ferdinand Magellan was overwhelmed by the natives when they rushed him en masse. Mark Wiley traces the development of arnis to the already indigenous fighting systems in existence among the various indigenous populations prior to the arrival of the Indo-Malayan, Chinese, and European settlers. These arts can be seen in their various manifestations today among these groups, since their respective fighting arts hold different emphases, and are indeed often vastly different from what we know and practice today as arnis. The practice of these existing fighting systems continued, but during the Spanish occupation, bladed weapons were banned, almost hindering the flourishing of Filipino martial arts. But the efforts of Filipinos to preserve the art remained undaunted. For instance, Don Jose Diaz has opened a school where fencing and arnis were taught side by side. It was believed that even our national hero was trained there. Allegedly, another way that Filipinos preserved the art was through their dances. But if the link between these dances were true, it is yet to be established. Some of the dances are sakoting, maglalatik, barantalo, mamaka, Since then, the Filipino martial arts became more widespread. Competitions were held and Jose Mena founded a school to introduce the art to the public. The first book on arnis by Placido Yampao was published. Arnis was then integrated to the physical education classes in school. Modern arnis is the system of Filipino martial arts, founded by Remy Prisas, as a self-defense system. His goal was to create an injury-free training method, as well as an effective self-defense system, in order to preserve the older arnis systems. Arnis is now the Philippines' national martial art in sports. To pinpoint a clear moment of birth in the timeline of arnis is futile. What we know is that arnis has changed and adapted in accordance with the demands of history, slowly evolving into the martial art that we know it to be today. Filipino martial arts is now recognized worldwide, and is widely used in foreign action films, such as Mission Impossible 3 and The Bourne Identity.